Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught me this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. All right, that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And as well as the innumerable multitude that sincerely believe upon the names of Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahushai. All right, this is your brother Amath coming from JMS Toronto, coming at you with another lesson. Lord willing, this is straightforward and edifying. Don't know exactly what I'm going to title this lesson, but maybe I'll entitle it, Esau, you will not escape. You will not escape your judgment, even when you escape the judgment. Right? Because the main judgment before Esau, Edom is put into captivity under the Israelites, starting with the elect. Slake. Let me just fix my screen here. Yeah, so the main judgment is those nuclear missiles, right? ICBM missiles, hypersonic missiles. A good clump of Edomites and heathens will escape that judgment. But they will escape the judgment, but they won't escape their judgment. Okay? And the difference again is captivity is promised to the Israelites for the heathen, starting with Esau, Edom, to rule or to be in captivity and be ruled over by the Israelites, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel for 1,000 years. All right. Matter of fact, let me open up with that. It's in Obadiah. So yeah, a lot of Edomites and heathens, and of course 2/3 of Israel will get caught up in the nuclear destruction. But a lot of Edomites and heathens will be preserved from that nuclear destruction, saved from that nuclear destruction, just to be brought into slavery under the Israelites. So bear with me here. I should have taken this. That's Obadiah, right? Slacker, bear with me here. For as ye have okay. Well, let me read this. Let me see if I can find. KJV. Where is it? Oh, it's Revelation 20. Okay, let me read this and go into Revelation 20. No, that's not Revelation 20. Slacker. Okay. Yeah. Okay, it is Revelation 20. My bad. All right, so let me read this here. Obadiah 1 and 15. I'll read this in the NLT. It says, "The day is near when I, the Lord Yahweh, will judge all godless nations," starting with Esau, Edom on down. "As you have done to Israel, so it will be done to you." And what has been done to Israel? Mainly, all right, to sum it all up, is hardcore captivity, hardcore slavery. All right, we've been as Israelites, we've been under captivity, okay, under every single nation on the planet Earth. Now we're in our last captivity, okay? And there's about 17 nations. If you include Israel, 18. It says, the day is near when I, the Lord Yahweh, will judge all the godless nations as you have done to Israel, so it will be done to you. All your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads, just as you swallowed up my people on my holy mountain, so you and your surrounding nations and the surrounding nations will swallow punishment. I pour out on you. Yes, all you nations will drink and stagger and disappear from history. Damn. Right? Which means they're going to have no glory to reminisce on in the kingdom of heaven. You're not going to be talking about how great China was in the kingdom of heaven, or how great America was in the kingdom of heaven. Yes, there will be a memorial of America being destroyed, and what will be talked about is how great of a wicked place that America was, and look at the great judgment that befell it, and that will serve as a sign, all right, to everybody, what happens when you rebel against the Heavenly Father, okay, and touch an apple of His eye. So it says, but Jerusalem will become a refuge for those who escape. It will be a holy place. And it's talking about the people before the place. And the people of Israel will come back to reclaim their inheritance, which is happening now, right? And those that have claimed the complete truth of their inheritance are the elect. The people of Israel will be a raging fire, and Edom a field of dry stubble. The descendants of Jacob will be a flame roaring across the field, devouring everything. Damn. There will be no survivors in Edom, right? And so this is after 1,000 years, right? After 1,000 years of hardcore slavery under the Israelites, starting with the elect, nations will be put in their respective lands, still serving servitude to the Israelites, just not as hardcore. But the nation of Edom will be done and away with, completely wiped out. All right. As to what will happen to the spirit of the Edomites, well, most likely, we know every spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father, and when we get to that point, we'll know. But for now, we know that you'll no longer have any translucent people walking around the face of the earth. Okay. There will be no survivors in Edom. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken. Okay. So now let's go to Revelation 20 to get the 1,000 years of captivity. Oh, what am I talking about? It's Daniel. That's the spirit. It's like I haven't went into that in quite a bit. That's why it's good to refresh. I'm pretty sure it's in Daniel. Oh no, okay. My fault, Akim and Aquath. Revelation 20 and 4. Yeah. Con. Okay. So Revelation 20 and 4, it says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. And the Spirit's been out on various brothers, apostles, and elders to make videos about the reality of what we're involved in, and us, the possibility of us being beheaded, man. Right? And that's a very serious thing. But this is why, the grace period is not to be slighted. All right? We are to do our utmost, give our utmost effort in serving the Lord during the grace period so we can find mercy. And mercy isn't always the Lord saving you from being beheaded, but mercy could be the Lord putting the Spirit on you, all right, to accept your lot. Because the Lord is going to put the Spirit on a lot of Israelites a lot of Israelites that are called, okay, when they get tested with the MOTB, right, the time of testing, the hour of temptation, they're going to flop. Okay, so mercy in that time is the Lord keeping the Spirit on you to continue and endure and not to bow the knee to this devil. All right, Esau, Edom. So it says, I'll read it again. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, right? And judgment was given unto them, they being the elect under Yahushua, starting with 144. Okay, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, for in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. You see? So that 1,000 years of rulership is where we're going to have a hardcore, or the heathens, starting with Esau, Edom, are going to be in hardcore bondage, all right, slavery under the Israelites, starting with the elect and Yahushua. Okay, it says, but the rest, verse 5, but the rest of the dead lived not again, right? The dead represents, it's parabolic for the nations, okay? All the nations, starting with Esau, Edom, on down. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. The first resurrection is of the first fruits. That's why it's called the first resurrection. All right, those that will be resurrected to true life, all right, with bodies that are not subject to sin, right? So resurrected to perfection will be the elect. They are the first fruits, starting with the 144,000, all right, that will experience the first resurrection, okay? It says, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such, the second death being a death of fire, right? The nuclear missiles, which I'm going to get into that aspect of the lesson, where these heathens are building bunkers, deep underground cities to escape their destruction, to escape that destruction, which they will, but they won't escape their judgment. It says, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death had no power, but they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Yahushua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Okay? And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Well, that's not going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. All I can think about is what's it called? All I can think about is IUIC, right? Nate and his breakdown about us in the kingdom of heaven, ruling after 1,000 years, and then all of a sudden Satan's going to get the upper hand over us, or Esau's going to get the upper hand over us while we're in our perfect bodies. Complete nonsense. See, when you read Revelation and other chapters, Revelation, especially chapter 20 here, it jumps around in many different time frames. What I just read from 4 to 6 was future events, future prophecy. And then when you read 7, that already happened. We're at the end of this, which is history, but we're at the end of this playing out, as it says. And when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. Right, we're in that phase right now, at the end of that phase right now. Okay, or the height of that phase right now, however you want to say it. But the main point I want to get here, for those who have the ears to understand and the eyes to see, that verse 4 down to, in Revelation 20, verse 4 down to 6, it's actually talking about a future event, okay? The kingdom of heaven. All right, so with all that being said, it's a long intro, but hey, I'm moving in the spirit. let's watch this video here. I'll play a little bit and then I'll get some precepts.
Catherine Austin Fitts, former Bush administration official, told Tucker Carlson that the U.S. has about 170 underground bases powered by secret breakthrough energy technologies, with significant government funds funneled into these projects, a claim long echoed by Dr. Stephen Greer.
But there is a history of near-extinction events, and one of the things that I've looked at, because I'm trying to figure out, between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.solera.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this. And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So
in the United States?
In the United States, all over the world. But from 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Solera Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. And then we systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess. This is totally a guess of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170, with a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me, there are two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret that you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event, that's...
So I know nothing about this other than my only window into it.
Right? So let's skip ahead. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 14 minutes long, but just want to get that point out. Obviously, you got to ask yourself, why are they building these underground bunkers, man? What are they trying to hide from or escape?
Now there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide.
And all this is going to be destroyed.
What you call high tech. We have nothing like this. These mega bases.
All these deep underground military bases in the United States will be completely wiped out, destroyed. Some of the ones that they got in Russia will be destroyed as well, because you have to understand that the nuclear missiles and hypersonic missiles and all the other missiles are not going to hit every single part of the earth, but they're going to hit major parts. So America for sure, the land of Israel, so any underground bunkers in there are going to be completely destroyed and demolished. And as well as some in parts of Turkey. Turkey's going to be involved, but as well, like I said, Russia, okay? And I forgot a while ago, I watched a video, but these are the super elites, all right, that are behind and orchestrating all this, which really we know is the Most High, but he used them on the left-hand side to do so. Their bunkers are not going to be in America. They're out in Switzerland, out in places and areas that won't be touched. Why? Because they're going to be preserved for the kingdom of heaven as slaves for the elect of the nation of Israel.
Are gobbling up our gross national product. And now we're spending 28% of the gross national product on building underground bases. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. And the black budget is dead wrong. It sidesteps the United States Constitution. Basically a city underground, roughly 400 cubic miles hollowed out underground. They have boring machines, for instance. They don't bore, they literally vitrify and melt the rock.
Underground city in America.
Active.
If you want to know where all the real freak offs happen, well, they have underground cities for a reason.
Deep underground dollars, military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site. Used to be, it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague Al Bielek has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect.
So you can't say these Edomites don't really know Yahushua's coming. They know, right? These Edomites, top wicked elite, and the heathens that are joining hand in hand with them, they know Yahushua's coming, right? And they're trying to prepare.
All the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off of a single rail at
and there is no preparation, because the prophecy says that they're going to be. He says that he he didn't lift up his sword nor a finger, and everything and the multitude were turned into a dust.
An inch off the rail, and there's what you call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface. The public basically has been totally lied to. We're considered stupid or even moronic in some cases. It's got to stop. If we're to gain our country back, we must, and I repeat, must instill in our public officials, anybody that goes and does public service, they must tell us the truth. And if they cannot do this, then they must be impeached.
This subterranean challenge in 2019 to 2021.
Capacity capable, which basically a city underground, roughly 4.25 cubic miles hollowed out underground. They have boring machines, for instance. They don't bore, they literally vitrify and melt the rock, deflagrate the rock. It's a very sophisticated laser melting and deflagrating system. Reduce the rock to a powder and then melts the remaining rock as a coating on the inside of the base, so you don't have to use gunite cements and other kinds of things like that. That's all old hat now. Technology, this is just basically, the new technology we get is the old hat of the military. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it's about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and you build, we call scopes or cross-member holes, and you use blasting equipment and special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation. And you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. I was involved in building another base inside of Bell State, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory.
There are 1,400 domes worldwide, and anywhere from 131 to 188 of them in the U.S., and new ones being built every single year. Phil Schneider was one of the first people to mention domes, and 14...
Yep, and they offed him, right? Bill Schneider, I guess his name was. But, yeah, you see it. This was an old clip, but everything's resurfacing up because knowledge shall increase and this devil is being exposed. So that's it. I'm not going to play the rest of it. You watch. I kind of skipped throughout the whole video. If you want to watch the whole video from front to finish, it's off of Rumble. The page is End Illuminati, right, with the sign there and the X. But now I'm going to get some precepts. So first precept is Revelation 16. And I'm going to read to 17. 16 and 16. So Revelation 16 and 16. Let me get this in NLT. Oh, no, never mind. NLT kind of goes crazy in Revelation, but like not in a good way. But Revelation 16 and 16. All right. In the King James, it says, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice unto the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, oh wait, my fault. Revelation 6 and 16. I knew that sounded a little off. Revelation 6 and 16, and it says, and the 24 elders, King James, which sat before Yahweh on their seats, fell upon their faces and worshipped Yahweh, saying, we give thee thanks, O Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Almighty, which art and was and art to come. And, yo, what the hell is wrong with Satan, man? I click 11. My fault, Akim. Wow. Revelation 6 and 16. All right, for the third time. And said to the mountains. Let me, okay, Okay, it's not bad. I can read it in NLT. Let me start at 15. Revelation 6 and 15. Then everyone, the kings of the earth, the rulers, the generals, the wealthy, the powerful, and every slave and free person all hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. And best believe that these devils have slaves in those underground cities that they will be hiding in when Yahushua comes and the destruction of the nuclear missiles come upon America and the land of Israel. They have slaves and all kinds of different things down there. All right, so as it says, the powerful and every slave and free person all hid them. Salake. All hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains, those deep underground bunkers. And they cried to the mountains and to the rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, Yahushua. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who is able to survive? Okay? So, hey, even as wicked and as proud Esau and the rest of the heathens that are joined hand in hand with them are, when they see this destruction, the nuclear fallout, and then they see Yahushua come, they're going to be shaking in their boots, man. All right? They're going to be shaking in their boots in their deep underground bunkers watching the whole thing. Because not only are they going to see a majestic power that that the world has never seen before, all right? But they're also going to know that this is prophecy. You know, so what's next after prophecy? Them being put into slavery. They watch the videos, they watch the lessons, starting with the apostles and bishops and elders on down. So they know what's coming for them. But hey, the Lord made this devil pride as hell, man. Right? As it says in scripture, the pride of that heart hath deceived thee. All right, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. So Amos, let's go to Isaiah 2 and 10, NLT as well. It says, crawl into caves. Crawl into caves in the rocks. Hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord Yahweh and the glory of his majesty. Human pride will be brought down, and human arrogance will be humbled. Only the Lord Yahweh will be exalted on the day of judgment. For the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies has a day of reckoning. He will punish the proud and mighty and bring down everything that is exalted. Damn, because only he is to be exalted. Okay, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, man. He will cut down the. No, that's the point. That's the point. All right, I'm gonna jump down to verse 19, and it reads, "When the Lord Yahweh rises to shake the earth, his enemies will crawl into holes in the ground. They will hide in caves in the rocks from the terror of the Lord Yahweh and the glory of his majesty. On that day of judgment, they will abandon the gold and silver idols they made for themselves to worship. They will leave their gods to the rodents and bats while they crawl away into caverns and hide among the jagged rocks in the cliffs." And these are modern day bunkers. Prophetically and parabolically, yes, it's twofold. It's both literal. People used to hide in caves and mountains back then, literally. But prophetically and parabolically, it's talking about these deep underground bunkers, okay, that I finished showing the video of. While they crawl away into their caverns and hide among the jagged rocks in the cliffs, they will try to escape the terror of the Lord Yahweh and the glory of his majesty as he rises to shake the earth. Don't put your trust in mere humans. They are as frail as breath. What good are they? Straight to the point. Okay. My last two precepts here. I don't want to make this too long. Let's go to Wisdom Solomon 14 or 4, Slake, and 16. And it reads, oh, you know what? Let me get Amos before I go there. We'll go to Amos 9 and 1. All right, it says NLT, "Then I saw a vision of the Lord Yahweh standing beside the altar. He says, strike the tops of the temple columns so that the foundation will shake. Bring down the roof of the heads of the people below. I will kill with the sword those who survive, so no one will escape. Even if they dig down to the place of the dead, I will reach down, which is what? The place of the dead is the earth, right? There's no actual, place called Hades and hell and all that nonsense. No, it's just the earth, okay? The ground. Because when you die, where do you get buried? You get buried in the ground. Okay, so even if they dig to the place of the earth, I will reach down and pull them out. By who? How? By the elect, the 144,000. All right, when they are in their godly state, we're gonna pull these devils out and have our way with them in righteousness, as they will be our inheritance as slaves. Okay, I will reach down and pull them up. Even if they climb up into the heavens, I will bring them down. So what is that going into? They're space stations. All right, and I'm gonna bring out some information on that. Let me just finish this here. It says, even if they hide at the very top of Carmel, I will search them out and capture them. Even if they hide at the bottom of the ocean, I will send the sea serpent after them to bite them. And they got bunkers in the oceans too. Okay, and the major sea serpent that's getting ready that's awaiting his command is Leviathan, man. That's going to be crazy. That is going to be crazy. Okay. So concerning them, climbing up into heavens, going to their space station. So I asked chat. Okay, what I asked, how many space stations are there? Right, straight to the point. It says, all right, here's the cold, hard, poetic truth. You've got currently 2 operational space stations orbiting the Earth. Operational stations. International Space Stations, right? ISS, a multinational marvel operated by NASA, Roscosmos, JAXA, ESA, and CSA. It's been continuously crewed since 2000 and remains the largest human outpost in orbit. Number 2, you have China's Taigong Space Station. Okay, China's independent orbital home, crewed since June 2022. Huh. You see, they know that they have a short time, man. Okay, as you see, it says with capacity of 3 to 6 astronauts. It's the only other current inhabited station, and really, I don't believe it's only 3 to 6 capacity. They probably can fit a lot more. Okay, that means as of today, there are exactly 2 active human space stations. It says, what's ahead? Upcoming for proposed stations in the future. The future is just as bold as the past. Here are the space stations currently on a drawing board or in development. Axiom Station, right? Axiom Space, a commercial space station planned for launch around 2027. Orbital Reef, okay, 2027. Russian Orbital Service Station. It says Russia Solos Replacement, so 2028. Okay. Haven 1, Haven 1. Okay. 2026. So they're building. Why is Esau and these heathens building all these different space stations in the next year or 2 to 3 years? Because they know they have a short time, man. Okay. It says Starlab is another one. Commercial project, okay, by all these different companies. 2028. Other concepts include Lunar Gateway, Barathia, Antarctica Station, India, another one from Russia. Okay, so hey, you see? Hey, it's right there, man. They're trying to escape. So there's a lot of space stations that are in the books to be built in the next 2 to 3 years, man. Okay, you gotta ask yourself, why is that? All right, so my last precept here, Wisdom of Solomon 14 or 4, Slacky and 16. And let me actually get this in King James. Wisdom of Solomon 4:16 in the King James, it says, thus the righteous okay, let me start at 15. It says, this the people saw and understood it not. Oh, I'll start at 14. For his soul pleased the Lord, right? It's talking about the righteous, the elect. Therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid up. Damn, fucking Satan, man. Decided to cut your grass right now. Fuck. This the people saw and understood it not. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with the saints, is with his saints, and that he hath respect unto his chosen. Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living. And yeah, how they're going to do that? Because they're going to come back to life. All right, they're going to come back to life in perfect bodies. Okay? And the very men that you beheaded, you're going to see them, all right, with their foot on your neck. With spiritual power, man, in a godly state. It says, thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and youth that is soon perfected, the many years and old age of the unrighteous. For they shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in his counsel has decreed for them, because only for the elect to understand. And to what end the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has set him in safety. It says, they shall see him and despise him, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass, damn, and a reproach among the dead forevermore. For he shall rend them and cast them down headlong, that they shall be speechless, and he shall shake them from the foundations, and they shall be utterly laid waste and be in sorrow, and their memorial shall perish. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face, man. All right. So complete and utter. Hey, I gotta get 5. Let me get 5. Complete and utter destruction for, and shame. Okay, and hardcore slavery and condemnation for Esau, Edom, and the heathens, man, and 2/3 of Israel too. Let me get chapter 5, and I'm also going to read 14 to 16. All right, so it says straight to the point. For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin frost that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is disappeared here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarries but a day. All the power that the Lord gave this devil, and he's going to be like a guest that was on the earth that came to your house, okay, and you forgot about him. So he's going to have because what does the scripture say? Slack, I'm a little excited. I'm going a little quick. The scriptures say that their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever. Do they think they're going to make a name for themselves that's going to last forever? All right, that's why the Lord is going to laugh them to scorn. And so will Yahushua, and so will the elect. All right, but the righteous, verse 15, but the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord Yahweh's hand, Yahushai's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. All right. So, hey, man, that's it. All right. Hey, man, call halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for this truth, man. Hey, like the Elder Yeshwamba coined, and as well as the Apostle Aramlab jumped on and did a lesson. You know, we finna win. All right, we finna win. All right, we finna win, brothers. We finna win. So, hey, man. With that, I'm gonna close up, giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, and double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and have taught me this word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. All right. Starting with 144,000 that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, as well as the innumerable multitude that sincerely believe in the names of Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Peace and mercy to you and your household. All right. Lord willing, this lesson was straightforward and edifying. Abba Kwam Masha'Allah, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. We finna win. All right. We finna win.